to see everybody here this morning. Can Jeremy say if there's any apologies, etc.?
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. Apology from Ian Guy.
Okay, and just to double check, we are correct.
Yes, Chairman.
Okay. The first item, after apology to the minutes of the last meeting, we all have copies, and are we all happy with the minutes of the previous meeting?
Sorry, Chairman, you've got declarations of interest.
Oh, sorry, declarations of interest. My apologies. So we all declare interest if we're involved in the local government pension scheme, please.
Yeah,
So
same for me, Chairman. I'm a member of the scheme.
Sorry, I'm just going to let somebody into my office a minute.
I have also the same declaration of interest. Thank you.
Myself as well, Jeremy.
Uh,
I'm a member of the pension fund.
For the record, so am I. Thanks.
Okay. Was that everybody in the meeting has now declared, Jeremy? Yeah.
Yes, Chairman.
Okay, thank you. The minutes of the last meeting, has everybody got copies? Is everybody happy with them for accuracy? Yeah, that seems fine. And then matters arising if anybody wishes to flag up. No, if everybody's happy with that, we'll now move on to item 4, which is the start of the report. So I think that will be Jeff that's doing that. Breaches report, Jeff.
Thank you, Chairman. Usual report, Chairman, that is presented to committee and board, outlining the breaches that occurred during the previous period as required by the pensions regulator. Boilerplate breaches to be reported again this period in terms of late contributions and data being received. However, the eagle-eyed amongst you may notice an addendum to the report in Appendix B on page 33 of the pack, which is an additional suite of KPIs that we're looking to introduce and report to committee and board as required by the pensions regulator to be included in the annual report. To minimise the workload on the pensions admin team. These are largely driven and derived from the Altair pensions administration system. So the production of these stats are largely driven by the use and the functionality of that system. Because obviously all transactions flow through that system and all the data is contained within. So these are a list of KPIs that we're looking to report to you in addition to the breaches that you're used to seeing. And hopefully they'll be of use to the committee and board to appreciate the complexity of the operation of the administration section, but also the efficiency and accuracy with which the section completes their tasks. Happy to take any questions that you may have on the historical breaches, as I say, on the preceding pages 31 and 32, and then also the new KPIs that we've got on page 33. It also is the intention and was discussed with committee that at the next committee and the next board, we shall invite the pensions admin manager, Mrs. Claire Elliott, along to provide a bit of colour behind some of these KPIs. For example, at B13 there, you may think, oh, what's that KPI stat about pension sharing orders? As a result of a divorce, etc., a divorced spouse, as a result of the divorce settlement, may have accrued pension rights over the members' pension benefits, and we're required to liaise with the legal partners and legal representatives of both parties to apportion and document that. So when it becomes due, the appropriate parties have paid the right amount. So they're quite complex, as previously indicated. Pensions management, as far as the members are concerned, is not homogenous because everyone's circumstances are different. Everyone's joined at a different date. Everyone has a different employment record, track record, etc. So, yeah, it's. I think you'll find it meaningful if the pensions manager comes along and provides a bit of colour behind some of these stats, because you do get some weird and wonderful situations arising as a result of them. Happy to take questions, Sharon.
So the first question I got is purely, if you like, a layman's question. The defaults, are they of a serious nature, which is going to imperil those organisations continuing involvement in the scheme or anything like that? Or are they sort of, let's call them technical breaches, where they're just a little bit in arrears, etc.?
It's the latter, Chairman. As you can see on page 32, the sums that we're referencing there in terms of late contributions, it's £1,200, and as historically reported, Chairman, this is in respect of a town council, and as you'll probably appreciate, the workings of a town council, they don't have the resource and personnel infrastructure to support, regular, timetabled remittance of these issues, because those duties sit alongside, their operational duties of running the local community centre or being the key holder or checking the local park for dog fouling, for example. They do everything, the town clerks, don't they? So to remember to remit pension contributions on time on a monthly basis is probably number 99 on the list of responsibilities. So it's understandable, but the regulations are firm. If it's late, they need to be reported to those charged with governance, which we do. However, in our assessment of risk, we send out reminders, we give them a gentle nudge, as long as they're made good in due course, which they are, and it's an administrative oversight, we'll try and work with them to do it, to remediate it and implement a system that they can operate efficiently at local level. But in these small organizations, it's almost understandable, really, Chairman, I'm afraid.
Okay, that's fine. Anybody else have any questions at that point? Okay. Somebody else is not my door. Somebody else is answering that now. So we can now move on to item 5, which is the pension fund business plan 25-26.
Thank you, Chairman. On an annual basis, as required by good practice, the pension fund produces a business plan which outlines its key objectives for the forthcoming 12 months, and also appended to the document, we include the risk register, identified the clear and agreed asset allocation, and a working budget that we can monitor ourselves against for the forthcoming year. Obviously, 25-26 is a big year for the fund, because as you're aware from your training and experience of being on the local pension board, every 3 years we're legally required to undertake a triennial valuation, and 31st of March 2025 is valuation year. So we crystallise the fund's assets and liabilities at that date, and send them away to our appointed actuaries, who all have PhDs in maths and have had to undertake lots of qualifications in hard sums for a many number of years, and they do their complicated calculations and give us a legally required certification about the financial health of the fund, i.e., in layman's terms, and you see it reported in the press, a funding level, i.e., can the fund meet all its pension promises that it's made to its members who are in the scheme at this date? And that's the function of the valuation, but also importantly, it's to set the future contributions that employers are required to make. Obviously, employees' contributions are set, and are standardised according to how much money the member earns. However, the employer's contribution rate is set every 3 years by the independent appointed actuary. As previously reported, we've had an excellent 3 years of investment returns since the last valuation in 2022, whereby we attained for the first time the 100% funding position. So the successive 3 years from 2022 to 25 have also been very good. And as I've previously reported to you, Swansea have been fortunate to be the number one performing investment pension fund in that intervening period. So ranked number one out of the 86 LGPS funds in that time. So the projections are that we shall be able to report a healthy surplus again at 2025. Not wanting to preempt the outcome of the valuation. However, we've engaged early with employers, our largest employers within the scheme, including Neath Port Talbot Council, and early indications are that they can factor in. They should be able to factor in some employer contribution reductions from 26, 27 onwards. So fingers crossed, between now and the 31st of March, nothing catastrophic occurs in terms of asset valuations, and bond yields currently are quite helpful as well in terms of the valuation of the liabilities. So it all augurs well for a very positive 2025 valuation process. And that is one of the key items, Chairman, identified as in the action plan is to manage that valuation process. That will probably be the priority for the fund in 25-26. What I haven't included in the action plan, Chairman, is the item on the agenda later on, the fit for the purpose local government pension scheme review launched by the government, and the work ensuing and resulting from that. And I'll talk about that in a bit more detail, but I've consciously excluded that item from the action plan, in that spawns a whole separate list of objectives and tasks and requirements, which is still a bit of an evolving and movable feast. Other items that the board may be interested on the horizon. Morning and welcome, Rosemary. Lovely to see you in attendance, and thanks for attending.
Thank you.
Another item that the board will be interested in seeing, and you'll have heard about in the media and in the technical press, is pending pensions dashboards. As you all indicated in your declarations of interest, you're all members of the scheme. So hopefully, post pensions implementation dashboard, you'll all be able to access not only your LGPS pensions, but all your other private pensions and other pension arrangements that you may have accrued elsewhere, all in one place. So you'll be able to monitor and manage your retirement savings plans all in one place. The launch date for LGPS is late 2026. So the preparatory work for that is it started, last year sometime, still ongoing. We're working on a collaborative basis with the 8 Welsh pension funds in Wales to deliver that on time. And then the rest of the business plan is the usual and annual tasks that we have to undertake in respect of managing and operating the fund. Another new one again references a report that you may remember we brought to the board and committee about the cybersecurity war game testing. So the committee and board have seen the cyber policy that we want to introduce. So now we need to test how robust that is by having this simulated cyber attack on the authority and see if those processes and protocols work. And that is pending in the year as well. And then we move on to the risk register, which identifies risks and how we intend to mitigate those risks. The asset allocation at Appendix 3, and then the budget at Appendix 4. And again, just want to highlight to you at the bottom of page 54 some associated new planned expenditure in respect of Project Snowdon. You may ask yourselves, what is Project Snowdon? This is the project title we've given to the LGPS Fit for the Future consultation response and resultant work, which are, as I say, Chairman, I'll talk about later on in that report in the second section of the meeting. I'm happy to leave it there, Chairman, and answer any questions arising.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Do any of my colleagues have any questions or observations they want to make? I can't see if anybody in the room wants to say anything. Simon, Rosemary, do you want to say anything?
Thank you, Ryland. Yeah, I guess we'd just like to say thanks for the update on the pensions and that. And I think in 2022 we had a significant saving that came back to Neath Talbot Council in terms of the employers' contribution. So thank you for the update on that, and hopefully it's as good as you say, and we can factor that into our figures for next year. Thank you.
Okay, Rosemary.
Nothing for me, thank you. Nothing for me.
Okay. Thank you, Jeremy. We'll have you move on to the next item now then.
Thank you, Chairman. It's me again, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Trustee training. Obviously, you're all long-standing members of the board now, and undertaking the initial board and trustee training that has been agreed is a minimum level of competence for a board member or a committee member. However, under the pensions regulations and under a number of frameworks as identified within the report, including the CIPFA Code of Practice, Public Sector Finance Knowledge and Skills, and, as I say, the Pensions Regulator Knowledge and Understanding duty on committee members, it is incumbent on you, and it's a personal incumbence and responsibility to ensure that you're suitably trained and have the appropriate skills and knowledge to discharge your duties. Also, it's my responsibility to ensure that we give you the resources to be able to, so that you are able to be trained and acquire those skills and knowledge. So between us, hopefully we'll be able to satisfy those requirements. Obviously, we identify the training during the year for you to attend. We do recognise the challenges on your time, and we appreciate the time and effort that you make to attend these meetings, and then also to ask you to attend training on top is a big ask on your commitment. However, it's a legal requirement, and we do say thank you when you are able to attend. At all times possible, we ensure it's a collaborative training process whereby you'll receive the training alongside members of the committee, and then where possible alongside committee members and local pension board members throughout Wales, where we offer joint training with other elected members and board members of the other seven Welsh local government pension schemes. So, there is a very broad and deep offering of trustee training, and we do encourage you to attend as and when you're able, but we do recognise the demands on your time. There will be a disclosure as required by the new regulations in the annual report about the appropriateness of the training and your attendance, and in respect of that, which is required by the pensions regulator now. So it is not intended to be a name and shame type scenario, but however, we are required to disclose that information in the new annual reporting regulations. Nothing really further to add, Chairman. You did undertake that questionnaire a number of years ago, identifying gaps in training and where you potentially would like to receive additional training, and we're still working through, delivering that training for you. For example, I think the last training that we had in person was very well received and was attended by members of board and committee, was that training on natural capital and agriculture that we had in the Guildhall just before Christmas last year. That encouraged a lot of debate, a lot of engagement, and obviously has resulted in an additional allocation to a timberland investment within Wales, resulting from that training session. So we'll continue to try and endeavour to have more local and in-face training, but as indicated in the report, the majority of it is online just to facilitate attendance, really, Chair.
Okay, thank you for that. Any of my colleagues have any questions or observations? Doesn't look like it.
Chairman,
go ahead.
Councillor Noyle.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see that. Sorry.
That's okay. Thank you. Just in relation to training, I guess, Jeff, you'll know this. Last year, I was unable to attend, I think, all of the training sessions that came through into our diaries. And the reason for that, Cabinet Member for Finance at Neath Talbot, and as bizarre as this may sound, from September to March, there are so many meetings in the diary relating to the budget, scrutiny meetings and so forth, that I wasn't able to attend any. Are we able to arrange those training dates during the quiet period? And nothing's quiet, I know, but April, May, June, July, August, something like that, when it's less busy for me. Is that a possibility, please?
We definitely can liaise before we agree training dates locally, Councillor Noyle. Less control over the joint ones that we have with the other LGPS in Wales, because obviously we're coordinating with the diaries of everyone, throughout Wales there. But the local ones, definitely, obviously we work with the chairman of the committee in the first instance, and Councillor Ryland Doyle as well as the chair of the board. But if we put it down as an action, Karen, to before we finalise local training, to circulate the date of the proposed training, and then work accordingly. But they tend to be scattered throughout the year, Councillor Noyle. So your observation that they do occur between that busy day, they do, but there will be some outside of that period as well. So hopefully if the ones you can't make, that's totally understandable. We recognise that the elected members are busy, but I'm sure there will be ones outside of that period in any case as well.
Okay, thank you very much.
Happy to leave it there, Chairman.
Okay, I'm just looking for the agenda. So we're now on to the Administrative Authority resourcing. That's you, Jeff, again, I assume.
Thank you, Chairman. I took a report to committee outlining some resourcing issues that we have in respect of the pensions admin section. As indicated earlier on, pensions administration is a complex and complicated business. Contrary to public belief, it's not just a homogenous scheme, the local government pension scheme, easy to administer. It is, in fact, in legal terms and operational terms, 3 completely separate schemes with the added complication of the personal circumstances overlay, because as I indicated before, everyone's personal circumstances are different. Everyone's joined the scheme at various times. People's, marital status, personal situations are different, and all these considerations have to be taken into consideration when calculating and administrating a person's benefits and accrual of those benefits. So in short, the report highlights, the complications within managing a local government pension scheme from an admin perspective. And further to my comments earlier on about launching the pensions dashboard, this report, in short, seeks some additional resource, and I think it was like £48,000 in total, including on costs, and that's in section 5.4 of the report. Is seeking approval to appoint a senior technical officer within the section to assist with the technical oversight of the implementation of the dashboard. Again, dashboard's a legal requirement. We're required to onboard the dashboard by late 2026, and we've determined that this additional resource is required to deliver that in that timetable. And just to give the committee and the board that we're not over resourced in there in that respect. You can see there at 6.1 of the report some comparable resourcing within the LGPS in Wales, and you can see there we're comfortably sort of in the middle of the pack there in terms of staffing numbers per member. The committee were happy to approve that additional resourcing, and I'm happy to say that this very week we've appointed that senior technical officer, and they are now in post. Thanks, Chairman. I think you're on mute, still on mute, Chairman.
My fault, the dreaded mute. Does anyone else have any questions or queries about the report? No, doesn't seem as if there is. So, Jeff, I'm happy to move on now to the exclusion of the public. Jeremy, do you just want to explain why we need to exclude the public?
Yeah, well, basically, Chair, if somebody can move the exclusion of the public on the seconder.
I move it.
Happy to second, Chair.
Okay, there we are. Okay, thank you, Chair. So I shall stop the recording now.